It's the big game between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid in the first leg of the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And with me to do a preview is Mustafa Segodi. My name is Aflabi. Welcome to the show.
All right, so there are two big questions here for this game coming up in the Bernabeu. Is Atletico Madrid going to have enough firepower and enough explosiveness and counter-attacking to be able to exploit the fact that Barcelona uses a high line? The next question is, are they going to be able to maintain, even without Rafinha, who's injured, are they going to be able to deal with Rashford? Rashford can't score, but Rashford stretches out teams. And you have the combination of Rashford, Olmo, and Yamal in the front. Is Atletico Madrid's defense blocked? Are they going to be able to handle that combination of players? This is going to be a back and forward game. This season has been interesting. We know that the last game was a Barcelona victory, but Barcelona was down, and they only came back after Atletico Madrid had 10 players. So to me, this is a tight matchup. But because it's in the Bernabeu and because Barcelona is really good, I'm predicting that Barcelona will probably win 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. But we have to take a look at this matchup because we know Barcelona lives and dies by the high press. And we also know that Atletico is more deliberate in their build-up. So they're not going to exploit against the high press with counterattack, because that's not how Atletico plays. They play with a build-up. So the question is, because they build up and they try to unlock defenses with Griezmann and with Lookman and co, their offense likes to build up. That gives Barcelona time to backtrack. And we know Barcelona is going to have possession. So I think that Atletico may not be able to exploit this high line of Barcelona. But once again, Barcelona likes to press hard. And if they press too hard, Lookman and co and Griezmann and who's their striker, Falabi?
Is most likely going to be Soloth, the number 9.
Yeah, but we know that with the lineup that Atletico, if Barcelona presses too hard, especially even if they're sitting back on defense, if they press too hard, they may pay the price. But nevertheless, if you look at these teams going back and forward every year, Barcelona has the edge, especially in Camp Nou where they're playing in Barcelona. What are your thoughts, Falabi?
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, if you look at the Atletico team setup, the coach keeps us guessing all the time. Yesterday, he played Griezmann and Baena. Sometimes he plays with Soloth. Sometimes he uses Julian Alvarez. But in a big game like this, I would imagine that Alvarez or Soloth will start just in front of Griezmann, who will play in the number 10 position. For Barcelona, I think they already gave us a sneak preview of how they're going to set up on Wednesday. Basically, Marcus Rashford played from the left to deputize for the injured Rafinha. And I think it was very dangerous. He scored their first goal. A lovely 1-2 into the box, and he just, he shot in straight into the net. Where I feel they will miss Rafinha is the defensive aspect. Rafinha is a pressing machine. When Barcelona lose the ball, before you can even look up and try to play the ball over their defensive line, the likes of Rafinha, they're like terriers. They rush into you, they press you, they don't give you time to settle on the ball. So Rashford would have to be able to do that when Barcelona lose the ball. And plus, including the fact that Barcelona has a lot of technically gifted players. I mean, they have Yamal on the on the right side.
Right.
Yamal is going to give the Atletico fullbacks a torrid time. That is why I feel Atletico will be a bit more pragmatic. I don't think they'll push forward too much. They will allow Barcelona to come onto them and see if they can break on them. This is their notorious high line. But it's difficult to take the ball off Barca because they have very technically gifted players. I mean, look at their midfield. They have Casado and Pedri. Pedri is one of the best technicians in Europe. He can pass the ball like Xavi. Very akin to passing the ball in between the lines. And then you have Dani Olmo, who will play directly behind Robert Lewandowski. And they're likely to be flanked by Yamal and Rashford. So it's going to be difficult for Atletico. Atletico have to be patient because they're not going to have the ball for too long. And you have a lot of talented players all around. There's Jules Koundé, who always overlaps on the right, and Alejandro Balde. So it won't be easy against Barcelona. Barcelona is going to press and push them to the very limit. But they have to be careful when they lose the ball, because one long ball over the Barcelona defense and they're through on goal. That's the problem with the way Barcelona play. But I think...
So the real question is...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think
Go
at the
ahead.
end
Go
of the
ahead.
day, it may not be as comfortable for Barcelona because of the absence of Rafinha, but they will get a victory here without a doubt.
Yeah.
Maybe a
And
2-1
here's
or
the
a
thing.
3-2.
And see, Barcelona. So maybe you can explain to me because you're the professor. I'm serious. Here's the problem though. Barcelona is used to scoring 3-4 goals a game, so they're not going to be worried about giving up 1 or 2 goals to Atletico. But it seems like they've slowed down in scoring also lately. What's the cause of that? Maybe it's partly because they don't have Rafinha there, and also they don't have Lewandowski. Is Lewandowski playing? No.
You
And
are absolutely
Torres.
right. Lewandowski is fit to
Where's
play this
Torres and
game.
Lewandowski? Where's Torres and Lewandowski? That's a
Femi,
big difference for them.
yeah, Torres has been playing more because of Lewandowski's injury, but Lewandowski is fit now. He scored the second goal yesterday, so basically he's
Yeah.
going to be in the team. I think
But
it's
one of their goals was a lucky shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lucky shoulder.
And
But the
and they
first
play
goal was
against
a
10
good
men.
goal. The first goal was a good
Yeah.
goal. And
Yeah.
that's another area that I'm going to touch on. Atletico is a very defensively minded team. And there's a very thin line between physicality and ill discipline. And that's one area that Atletico will have to watch out for. They commit a lot of fouls. If they go down one man against Barcelona, I mean, it's curtains for them. Barcelona are going to finish them off quite easily. So they have to maintain their discipline. Don't play too physically, too rough. And basically, they're going to want to try and bully Barcelona in this game because they know that Barcelona is technically good. They have this one-touch passing. And they're going to ask Lamine and Rashford to stay high and wide to create a lot of width. And then Dani Olmo will just dance in between the half spaces. And then Robert Lewandowski will engage the center backs of the Atletico team. So these four guys is not going to be easy for Atletico Madrid. But I feel with the marksmanship of Lewandowski and the brilliance of Yamal, they would win this one. It could be close. But
I think you've been stealing notes from Warif talking about bully. Seguri, what are your thoughts? Let me stop. What are your thoughts, Seguri?
I must agree with Afola by saying that the game favors Barcelona.
Yeah.
The game favors Barcelona because they're playing at home, and then Atletico Madrid, they haven't won at Camp Nou for really a long time. I can't even remember. So now, when you look at Barcelona, the highlight that they play, it will also be very dangerous for them. They need to be careful because if you have a player of Lookman playing on a counter, it really suits him. Like he's got speed, he's got fun to connect play there. And the key is going to come for Atletico Madrid is going to be on their number 6 and Griezmann as well. Because if these two can be able to hold up the ball and then make sure that they get out of the press. Because the thing about Barcelona is when they lose the ball, they press high and they make sure that they get the ball. So the key for Atletico Madrid is to be able not to panic and then try to release your wingers very, very early.
Yeah, very, very good. Man, you guys don't turn to Professor. You're making me look like Entertaino. Yeah, but let me ask you a question, Seguri. So don't you think that if Barcelona presses, they have to be careful because Lookman is very good at breaking the press and starting counterattacks. You get my point? Guys like Lookman specifically, that's what's going to make it dangerous. But I think that the problem is that other than Lookman, I don't think Atletico Madrid has any other players that are going to give him help when Barcelona is pressing. What do you think, Seguri? Yeah.
No, absolutely. Because if you look at Lookman, it's the kind of player that can punish Barcelona because he's got the speed, he's got the physique and the finishing, and he can play on a counter. They can be really be able to break up the lines. So the key here is
he can drop deep. He can drop into the midfield like Sade, like Michael Sane.
He can drop deep and then play 1-2 with Griezmann, and then after that they can expose Barcelona very easily. So
I think Barcelona need to have Rodri on their team. To be honest with you, they need Rodri. If they had Rodri, they'd be a perfect team.
To make sure that they win the ball back when they lose it, because it's very important for them.
But I like the way Barcelona plays, do or die. Also, Barcelona would be nice if they had Cucurella. What do you think, Afolabi? If they had Cucurella and Rodri,
Cucurella would give them a lot of width on the left side. He can cross the ball. He overlaps very well, and he's very athletic. It would be nice if they had Cucurella. I haven't had rumors that they might bring him in the summer.
Yeah, and you know what's scary about Barcelona? This guy is only 18 now. Kubasi is a very good central defender, but it's not his fault. It's not his fault. They make him go too high, so a lot of times he has to run back. Yeah. So, So, follow me. Last thoughts. So we've agreed now that I think that not having Lewandowski is making a big difference, because even though Lewandowski is old, the way he centers himself as a number 9 stretches and makes Barcelona a lot wider on attack, especially when you have Yamal on the right. The perfect setup for Barcelona is Yamal on the right, Rafinha on the left, and either Torres or Lewandowski, specifically Lewandowski, because Lewandowski still knows how to shadow and stretch defenses. So I think the problem now is that now that they have a high line, it's not as more risky because they don't score as many goals. Before, you'd be like, oh, they give up goals, but they score goals. What do you think of Falabi?
Yeah. Yes, I agree with you, because before they had the safety net of even if the scores would score more goals. But in spite of the high line, they have a very disciplined defensive line that often always step up at the same time. So if you don't time your passes well, you discover that your striker keeps going offside. They can do that. In fact, Barcelona they're one of the teams in Europe that catch strikers offside the most. So they're well drilled. Basically, what Hansi Flick does is once you lose the ball, you have to win it back in 5 seconds. And they know how to do that. They just have to do it more in this game. To say that Atletico will not have a chance against their high line is not realistic. But how many of these chances will be real quality chances? I think what they're going to do is to ask Casado to press Griezmann. Griezmann is by far the best passer of the ball in Atletico. They know if he gets the ball, he can thread the ball through the eye of a needle. He will be the one that Barcelona will be watching once they lose the ball. So I still think Barcelona are favorites. They have too much quality to lose to Atletico.
The problem is that they're going to have to meet Atletico for the second leg. So that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
That's why they need to try to win this game 2-0. So I'll end with that. What are your predictions for the game, Afolabi? First game.
First game, 2-1 to Barcelona. And then 1-0.
Who do you think is going to win the whole series?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Who do you think is going to win both second leg? Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to qualify to the next round?
Oh, Barcelona by a country mile. I have no doubt about that.
Even if they win by 1 goal, you don't think they'll give up goals?
No, Atletico too doesn't score too many goals. And they're naturally, they're defensively oriented. They are going to sit back and counter on the team. So I don't see how they're going to score too many goals against Barcelona, because they are not going to get the ball anyway. Barcelona is going to have like 70% of possession. So I don't see how they will Barcelona.
No, I feel like they're not going to have. I feel like they're not going to have 70. They're going to have 67.9. All right. So, Gordy, what are your last thoughts? What is the score? Let's get out of here, man. Nice show. Yeah.
No, I think Barcelona will win with this one 4-2. The total average score.
High score.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a scoring game.
You guys, I have a quick joke for you, like my joke. So one time, my barber was cutting my hair. I said, the barber was on the phone. I said, man, you took too long. You talked on the phone for 1 hour. He said, I didn't talk on the phone for 1 hour. I talked for 50 minutes. You get the joke. And he wasn't joking. He was serious. I didn't talk for 1 hour. It was, because 50 minutes is the same as 1 hour.
So what's the difference between 1 hour?
It's the same as 1 hour.
And the guy was serious. He wasn't joking. I'm like, man, come on, man. All right, good show, guys. We'll be back tomorrow to do one more match. What's the other match? We're not doing Arsenal.
There's PSG and one other team. I forgot the PSG.
Yeah, we want to do that. Yeah, Arsenal, that's a boring one. Arsenal will be sporting. Yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I think it's PSG and Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, we'll do that one tomorrow. No, I think PSG is playing, maybe Chelsea. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay. All right.
It's been another wonderful football show. We have been previewing Atletico and Barcelona. For myself, Segode and Mustafa will be back again.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.